Hi guys, my name is Elisha Rasa. I'm a Kenyan and I'm taking this video from Kenya. Today is the 27th of January 2019. I know you're here because you're looking for answers. Just the same way I was looking for answers when I started this. Perhaps you want to start a water fasting program, and you're researching to see whether it's a viable thing you can do, or you are fasting for a spiritual reason and you want to know whether it is safe to do it. So I'll start by saying this is a very safe process and it works well. Anybody can do it. So how did I get here? My journey started sometime last year in September. I was feeling overwhelmed with life, and there were just things going on in my life, and I decided to take a 3 days fast. But what I was doing, I was taking juice, 200 ml juice daily. That was very deliberate because I'd never really researched on fasting without taking anything, although I did that before. I fasted for 7 days some years back, but I was a little younger than I am right now. So after the 3 days, we had a fasting program at church, and we introduced an OMAD fasting for those who are willing to do it, just to nurture ourselves, get ourselves spiritually, and cut excess weight from our bodies, and just not to clog our brain. So from September, I think September 8th, around thereabout, I started eating a meal a day. But I did not just start that program. I researched. I went online, checked different sources, and just to study to know what it is that I was actually getting myself into. I did not want to just get myself eating one meal a day and realize that at the end of it all, it's not helpful to me. I'm losing instead of gaining from it. So I did that up to the moment I started now water fasting, which was last week. And I'll tell you, it's been an incredible experience. If you've never eaten one meal a day, I dare you to start. If you want to do a water fasting, I would actually recommend starting with say 2 meals a day, where you do an intermittent fasting of they call it 16-8. So you have a window of 8 hours to eat and 16 hours to fast. You can start with that, and if you're able to do that, then proceed to water fasting. So how is my experience with water fasting? I'll say, start coming from my background, where I've been fasting continually for a long period, eating only one meal a day, and I make sure that this one meal is fully loaded. It has all the nutrients that I need for the day. I don't starve myself. I don't deny myself to eat anything. I pretty much eat cereals, nuts, fruits, and anything. No cut on carbs, no cut on basically anything. That's the brilliant idea behind OMAD fasting. You're able to eat whatever your body craves for. So I did that and realized I was very much okay. Perhaps maybe because I had fasted 3 days before starting the program, and it was pretty much easy for me. But you're talking about water fasting here. So what's the difference with water fasting? With water fasting, you absolutely take nothing else but just water. I know there are people who say you can take sea salt. There are those who said you can, spike the water a little bit, take soda water, or whatever they say. But we are talking about water. Nothing else added in it. No coffee, no snacking in between. Just water for the number of days that you choose to do. So the question that you're asking yourself is, why should I do this water fasting? What benefit does it have to my body? many people who choose to do water fasting, and this is from the research that I did that I found out, is one, you want a sure way of reducing your body fat. That means you want to reduce your weight from whatever, if 100 kgs to 50 or 60, depending on what you want to achieve at the end of the day. And others choose this because of a spiritual journey that they are taking, and they just want to be off food for a period of time. Now, others who do this, and this is one thing that the doctors do not want you to know, they do this for health issues. You want to build up your immunity. Perhaps you are suffering from eczema, or you're suffering from diabetes type 2, you're suffering from cancer. It's a myriad of issues that you'll be suffering from. Perhaps terminal issues, or maybe you broke your bone at some point in life, and that problem keeps on recurring. So you want to recover from this. Water fasting solves this 100%. I know this from the research that I have done. And it's not just research, watching people upload their clips and saying this or that. I also watch that because I want personal experience from them. What have they gone through? But besides that, I've also researched different doctors. Go to the net if you want to check somebody else. You can look at Dr. Berg, Dr. Jason. He's a Filipino. Dr. Jason, I've forgotten the other name. There are many sources that you can get, and a lot of information about water fasting and its effects. So this is my personal experience because I also want to experience it. One, I have a knee issue. I fell down sometimes back, not really falling down. I was playing basketball, and then I jumped after scoring. I came down not rightly, and I hurt my knee. And that issue has been there for a long time. Sometimes whenever I jog intensely, whenever I go for jogging and, kind of a serious run, I always end up having very painful knee. And then just the other day, about 4 or 5 months ago, I was, undoing my clothes from the line, and I also fell down and hurt my knee again. So I want to get healing for this. And also, there's a time I used to do heavyweight lifting, and on this occasion, I lifted weights that I could not handle, and I wasn't doing it correctly. So I dislocated my disc, one of my discs. I didn't go for surgery. I let it heal. Basically, I went to the hospital. I was given some painkillers, and the pain went. But years later, the pain came back. When I sit for too long and I stand up, I can't just stand up straight. I have to kind of take my time, bring my back up slowly, then stand up after that. So I want to actually do this for healing purposes, and two, I also want to lose weight. I mean, it would be very nice to lose weight. Right now, when I started this, I was weighing 126 kgs, and in a span of 4 days, I've lost about 6-7 kgs. I'm now weighing 100 and okay, I've not taken my readings this day. I think I've lost about 4 or 5 kgs since I started this. Oh, so what has been my experience so far? Well, day one was not a big issue because, I just eat one meal and I stay about 24 hours before I take the next meal. So there was no much of a hunger pang in between, nothing really. But at the time when I was supposed to take now my meal for the next day, I felt, wow, well, most of you feel it, the rumbling of the stomach, you want to put something there. But it wasn't really intense. I think I'd accustomed myself to, I wasn't really timing myself specifically that I'll be eating at 1 or at 12. I used to do lunch. I used to eat at lunch, and that's when I would break my fast. And so I would start at about 1 with some fruit. But there's another thing. If you're doing fruits, don't mix more than 2 fruits. So when I started, I was doing it wrong. I was, you know, mixing watermelon, bananas, and all this stuff. I later discovered that was not the right way to do it. But that's another topic that we can cover another day in the next video log that I'll do. So day 1 went pretty much well, nothing much. And day 2, by the time I was ending day 2, I was beginning now to feel the hunger pang, and it was quite intense. I really wanted to put something in my stomach. I actually almost stopped this program, but I was so convinced of its benefits, so it wasn't really much of an issue. No, it kept bothering me for like about half an hour. Thereafter, nothing much, and the day ended with feeling high. So on the 3rd day, that was yesterday, I was at church, and we usually serve lunch at church, and I realized that I wasn't feeling hungry. It's as if I had eaten. Actually, it felt like I'd just eaten. By the time guys were serving lunch and wanted to eat, I was feeling full. You know, there's a process that goes in you when you start water fasting. You want to switch the body from using glucose, using sugar as a primary source of food. You know, when you eat your food, it's broken down into glycogen, and that is what feeds your body. It's what feeds the brain, and it gives you all the energy that you need for the day. So you never get to tap from, you actually don't burn fat at that point. So your body, when you fast, when you do water fast, you're actually forcing your body to go into ketosis. And ketosis is the process whereby your body now starts, instead of relying on sugar as its primary source, glycogen as its primary source of food, it relies on your body fat that you've been building over time. For over years, you've been, building up this. And so, when you fast for about 48 hours, this process kicks in. You get rid of all the glucose in your body and the waste in your body, which might take some time. You might discover by the 4th, 5th day, you still have some waste that, that you're getting rid of. Once ketosis kicks in, you actually have a feeling of being full, like you've just eaten. So whenever it gets to that time when you used to eat, the process, the ketones levels in your body increase, and I don't have a measuring device to know how many ketones I have in my body. I've read and did a study and discovered that when you're fasting, your body ketones rises up from 2 to about 3, 4, 5. If it's 8, woo, that's very nice. You want it to get there because you want your insulin to drop down. You want the glucose to drop down from 80, 70. It comes all the way down, and then your ketone rises as the glucose levels come down. Think of it this way: whenever you want to eat, you go to the fridge, and whatever you pick from the fridge, you can consume it much faster. But if you get anything from your freezer, it will have to go through a process before you actually eat that food. So the energy you get from the daily food is like getting food from the fridge, and the energy now that kicks in when you're in this state of ketones is like now using what is in your freezer. You can also think of it as money that you have in your wallet. You can access that money anytime, but the money that you have in the bank, you have to check and receive it, wait some time before you can actually receive that cash. So think of the same process like ketosis as using the money that is in your bank. The body that you have right now, an average Kenyan, I'm from Kenya, an average Kenyan is about 80 to 100 and something kgs. I know there are those who are less than that, but you have body mass You have fats that can keep you going for, wait for it, 100 days plus. So if you choose to fast for over 40 days, you know, you can actually go all the way. Of course, as you go by, you'll feel like you're losing energy. You'll feel lightheaded because your energy is being depleted, and you know, you're burning fat. So you'll be reducing in size to the point where perhaps you want, say you are 90 kgs and you want to reduce to 50. So when you get to your kgs, you can break the fast. But for you to get the full benefit of water fasting, you want to do it at least 21 days. Why 21 days? If you started fasting, water fasting, and you broke it on the 3rd day, it will be premature. You may have lost weight, but the weight that you'll have lost is not your body fat. It's basically the food that you've been eating. So it will be the waste that just came out, and you know, not much of your body fat. So if you really want to lose body fat, you want to go full throttle, you want to do at least 7 days. It will be significant, and the weight that you lose, you will not regain it. Of course, unless you go back to bad habit of, you know, eating the same things you've been eating, you know, doing the same thing you've been doing, which you don't want to. Because when you end your fast, you'll realize that you'll develop new taste. If you start eating healthy and you get used to this, I mean, if you actually go back to eating the same thing you're eating, you know, too much sugar, your body will reject it. You will feel really bad. So you want to do at least 7 days. And if you can take it 21 days, that will, very good. If you can do it 30 days, whatever your motivation is, watch videos. I mean, get contact with people who've done this before, if you know anyone. And, you know, get encouraged. It's very easy to stop this along the way. So what are some of the things that you'll experience between day 1 to day 3? Hunger pangs, a desire to stop this process. But when you get on the 4th day, you'll notice actually something. Your tongue will turn white. I've already brushed my teeth. When I woke up this morning, my tongue was white, you know. You can see some bit of it is still here. And as you go by the time you're hitting day 7, it will be all white. You shouldn't be worried or concerned when it does that, because that simply means that you know the ketones have kicked in, and you know, you're getting rid of all the bad things from your system. You'll be surprised how much wastage is in your system. You know, if you used to eat 3 meals a day and perhaps go for a long call just once or twice a day, there's been a lot of stuff piling up in your body, you know, just holding on to the walls of your colon that you've never gotten rid of. So this process actually detoxifies you pretty much easily. So for those who want to just detox your body from what you've been eating probably during the holiday, 3 days will be fine, 3-4 days will be fine for you, and you'll have detoxed without doing anything, without paying a dime for it, you know, free. It's available to you. You can do this. You know, you just need motivation. So day 1 to day 3, hunger pangs. Then day 4, or some actually, for some it kicks in very early. By 48 hours, you're able to transition from you know, using glycogen to ketosis. You have ketones rising in your body. By day 4th, between day 4th to day 7, it gets pretty much easy. But I want to use my experience as a person, because I've told you I've only done it 4 days. I'll upload on the next few days, at least tell you what has happened, and I mean what I've been able to feel through that period. I'll also weigh myself, so at least actually today I'll go weigh myself, see my actual weight and post it. Then I'll weigh myself daily to see how much I lose. It's actually said that each day you lose up to a kg or more. And I've actually noticed that from day 1 I lost a kg. I was actually surprised, because when I was doing the OMAD fasting, the 1 meal a day, I lost some kgs, but maybe because of what I was eating, I kind of maintained it. I didn't gain my kgs, but every time I ate, I noticed looks like I've been eating like almost a kg of food, 1 kilogram of food every day. So whenever I eat, it would shoot up by that kg. By end of day, when I weigh myself, I've lost it because of the fasting. So what this does is that each day you lose at least a kilogram of your of your body fat. I want to do this. I don't know how long I want to do this, but I'll be listening to my body. When I feel like I've had enough or I cannot take it anymore, I'll break it at that point. But as of now, I'm good to go. Hope you're gonna do it. Join me in this process. If you like what you heard from me, give a like to my video, thumbs up, follow me. Somebody else might be able to, benefit from this. All the best as you start your process, and enjoy it. It's fun. Maybe just one last thing you want to do when you are doing this thing, you want to minimize on working out. When you work out, when you go jogging or your body will be strained, and it will want to give your brain energy. By the way, your brain needs sugar. It needs glycogen to survive. So now that you're denying your body sugar, where does it get it from? From the fat. It converts the fat through a process, I think it's called glycogenesis. Glyconeogenesis, yes. Glyconeogenesis is a process where the body fat is now converted into glycogen so that your brain can get the power that it needs. So what happens when you go jogging? Your body, the ketones level, which want to be high, they actually come down, and you have glycogen rising because your body needs that to work out. So when that happens, you'll have your insulin in your body rising. Yes, and you do not want that to happen, because whenever that happens, you slow down the weight loss process. So if you can rest or move easily, walk lightly, don't do any strenuous activities. If your work does not allow you to do strenuous, if your work requires that to do strenuous activity, then this might not be the best thing for you to do. You might want to probably try intermittent fasting, where you eat within the period that you work. Eat a meal perhaps at 6 or 7 in the morning, and the next meal at around 3, 4, so that you have enough hours, at least a minimum of 16 hours, where your body will go into ketosis and burn fat. That might work for you, but it will be a slightly longer process as opposed to doing a water-only fasting. Yeah, so like my video, and see you in my next video log. Kudos guys, and all the best.